welcome to my channel. I'm Stasia and I've recently lost 40 pounds following a plant-based diet. Now, this didn't always come easy for me. I have to admit that it's been quite a struggle, even though I've been eating plant-based for many years. It's not until recently that I started to tweak some things and make some changes that the weight has really started to come off. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you one of those things, and that is just a mini 4-ingredient prep that I will do when I don't have a lot of time to do like a full-blown meal prep because, you know, let's just call it what it is. Life happens sometimes, we all get busy. But I do find that if I at least have these 4 ingredients prepped, then the rest of my week can still flow pretty seamlessly and it's still enough to keep me on track. So I'm going to be going over what each of those foods are and pretty much why I prep those specific ingredients. But before we jump into the video, in case it's the first time landing on my channel, right now, I am running a holiday special on all 3 of my weight loss recipe ebooks, including my brand new weight loss recipe ebook that has no overt fats, breads, or pastas in any of the recipes. All 3 of my books right now are on sale for only $10. Now, to put that in perspective for you, that is actually less than the cost of one of my books. So it will be a limited time. It's in the spirit of the holidays and, you know, with the new year coming and that sort of thing, I don't want cost to be an issue because I know a lot of people are really pressed for money around these times. So I don't want that to be the case when it comes to your health and weight loss. The recipes you will find in those ebooks are the exact recipes I've been eating to get the weight off, especially my most recent one with the no overt fats. Now, if you want to find out in more detail what exactly I've done to get this weight off, I'm going to have some videos linked in my description box below because I've already made a lot of videos going into detail about exactly what I did. So if you're interested in that, then those can be found in my description box below, so be sure to check it out. But in a nutshell, I have eliminated my overt fats, which are nuts, seeds, avocados, oil, and by doing that, I've been able to get myself into a calorie deficit without counting calories, enough to start seeing the weight move. So again, if you're interested in checking out what exactly I've been eating to get this 40 pounds off, then be sure to check out those books. Well, they are heavily discounted. So again, you can find the link to those books found in my description box below. All right, so with that being said, let me show you guys what I do when I don't have a lot of time, but I want to make sure that, you know, I'm setting myself up for a really successful week so that I'm not hungry, I'm not, you know, eating things I shouldn't be eating. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna start off with the chickpeas. Now, it isn't always exclusively chickpeas. It's usually some type of bean. I alternate between chickpeas, black beans, and white beans. Now, I've mentioned many times in my videos before, I personally prefer to make my beans in the Instant Pot, but that's not a hard rule. You can definitely use canned beans. I just like the texture and the taste of them better, and I can also control exactly what's going into them. Now, there is no fancy method. The way that I cook my beans, I actually just cook them in water, literally no salt, nothing else. And I do that because primarily I like using the chickpeas or any bean for my fiber protein shakes. Now, if you're new to my channel and you don't know what those are, there will be a video linked in my description box below if you want to check it out. But these shakes have been a huge part of my weight loss journey. I designed these shakes using wholesome ingredients. They taste amazing. I have Snickers flavor, vanilla birthday cake, Reese's Pieces buttercup, just to name a few. I specifically designed them to taste dessert-like so that I keep coming back to them over and over again. And the star in those shakes are beans, and I promise you, you can't taste them at all. So I always make sure that I've got a ton of beans prepped in this house. This is actually a really small amount. I actually have a lot more than this. I just put it in the container just for a visual so you guys can see it, but I have more that will also be put in a Ziploc bag, and I usually have them in my fridge for a few days, maybe 3 days, 4 days at most, and then I transfer them over to my freezer and use them for, you know, my meals from there. So obviously I also use chickpeas to make my homemade hummus, as well as I love throwing them in soups or salads. So, you know, that's why I like to prepare them with no spices or anything so that they're just a lot more versatile. So I always, no matter how pressed for time I am, have beans prepped and ready to go for the week. So the next thing we are going to move along to are potatoes. Now, my favorite way to make potatoes, as I've mentioned many times before, are in the Instant Pot. So I just find that they just make them so creamy and so soft that you really don't don't need any type of crazy topping on it, or at least you won't miss the fat in it. So obviously throwing a little bit of salsa on top, or, you know, my spicy cheese sauce or something like that is going to take it to a level 10. But honestly, when they're made in the Instant Pot, I enjoy them kind of as is, even just with a sprinkle of salt and pepper on top of them. Like, they're really, really good. But I love having the potatoes prepped because in general, potatoes do take a while to cook. So once they're already prepped and ready to go, it just makes life so much easier. I can just grab a couple out, throw them on a plate, pop it in a microwave, you know, and throw some type of non-starchy on the side, and the meal is already good to go. Another thing that I've been completely obsessed with is my potato Caesar salad. So I love when I already have potatoes ready to go in the fridge, because then I can just easily pull it out of the fridge and whip that salad together. So potatoes are another thing that you will find always prepped and ready to eat in this house. Okay, so the next thing is going to be sweet potatoes. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love my sweet potatoes. In fact, I love them a little bit more than these guys, but you know, as you can see, I have them both. At any rate, so my sweet potatoes, I love cooking in the oven. They can be made in the Instant Pot, but I like to slow cook them in the oven because it just retains all the sugar nicely, and so they come out super sweet, making them slow in the oven. And then as you can see, I've kind of chopped them up into like spears, you know, so this makes for a great snack even. If I'm really hungry, sometimes I can just pull this out of the fridge and I will just stand there and eat them just like this. You know, you can have them cold with a little bit of cinnamon sprinkled on top. It's delicious. I also have a really delicious starchy smoothie that I make using the sweet potatoes that I'm going to be showing you guys shortly. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, then now would be a good time, because I am going to be showing you all the delicious recipes that I've been using to get this weight off. But at any rate, having the sweet potatoes ready to go, you know, gives a lot of options as far as what to do with them afterwards. So like I mentioned, I like eating them as is. I also like throwing them in a starchy smoothie, as well as I love just taking a spear, you know, and just chopping it up on top of a salad. And that just adds some bulk and some starch to a salad so that I'm guaranteed to last until my next meal. I absolutely love sweet potato on a salad. So sweet potato is definitely another starch that I will quickly prep and make sure that I have ready to go for my week. And lastly, this is my very overcooked rice that I'm actually not going to be eating this, but I didn't have time to whip up more before I made the video. So here was my attempt to make it, and actually not calling out any names or anything, but a certain someone, my husband, was asked to watch the rice while it was cooking and kind of forgot about it. So this is the result. But unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to eat that, which is quite a shame and quite a waste. But at any rate, I always have a bowl about this size of rice already ready to go, because I do love throwing together a quick rice bowls. So I do have 7 days worth of rice bowl recipes in my brand new weight loss recipe ebook. And so when I already have the rice ready to go, it just makes life so easy, because then all I have to do is just quickly add my other ingredients. Whether or not I have those other ingredients prepped or not, it still doesn't really matter as long as that rice is prepped, because that's the thing that takes the longest to cook. So as I mentioned, this is just my mini starch prep. This is only when I don't have enough time to kind of prepare all my other things like my sauces and dressings. Then at the very minimum, I make sure that I have these starches prepped. And all in all, this took about 40 minutes to have all of this ready to go. So it really didn't take that much time, but boy, does it save me a ton of time in my week. Now, with that being said, if I have enough time, then I do like also having, you know, my sauces and dressings prepped. More specifically, I love having my Caesar dressing. I love having my Instant Pot hummus made, as well as my spicy cheese sauce. I would say that those are my top 3 that I like to have ready in the fridge. I also like to prep my greens by washing them and chopping them. Sometimes I have them in containers, sometimes I just throw them in Ziploc bags. And if I'm feeling really adventurous, then I also like prepping my onions, my peppers, you know, some of those non-starchy veggies that'll just make it so easy to grab them, throw them in a pan, water saute them, and add them to some type of meal, or of course just throw them in some type of salad. So the bigger ingredient prep is always, of course, the main goal, but sometimes life just doesn't allow us to have that type of time in a day. If only there were more than 24 hours sometimes, eh? But I try not to let that stop me from being prepared at all, because of course, the key to any type of weight loss journey is being prepared. You do not want to be caught too hungry and kind of lost for what to eat. So while I'm not a huge fan of meal prep, I'm an absolute huge fan of ingredient prep, because I'm telling you, it makes life 1,000 times easier on a weight loss journey. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave the video here. Again, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you're also on a health and weight loss journey and would like to follow along mine, then be sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out, as I will be posting everything that I'm doing to get this weight off. Like I've mentioned before, I've already lost 40 pounds. I still have about another 30 pounds to go. So jump on my journey and I'll be showing you every step of the way of what I'm doing to get this weight off. I will be putting out a video very soon showing a starchy salad that has quickly become one of my favorite things to eat, especially when you're on the go. This thing can be made in advance, be brought out with you when you're leaving the house, and it will keep you full. So stay tuned for that. I love this salad and I'm pretty sure you guys will love it too. And again, if you're interested in knowing more detail about how I got this 40 pounds off, then don't forget to check out those videos posted in my description box below, as well as take advantage of that holiday special on all 3 of my books for only $10. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next one.